Hello, and welcome to You Don't Need 10. Welcome back if you have been here before. Welcome if you are new. If you are new, at some point, if you get a chance to go to youdon'tneed10.com to learn a little bit more about us, it might make a little bit more sense. My name is Katie Wyman. I am a mother to a child that was born different, and I am an advocate for all differences and all mental health ways of life. However you have to live your life, I am an advocate. If you've been here before, you know that this is a blog post that's been going on for like 2.5 years, and then a couple months ago I decided to do audio recordings of some of the old blog posts and the new ones as they come out. So today is the 20th blog post that would have been posted to the youdon'tneed10.com website on January 25th of 2022, so about 2.5 years ago. And it is and I've gotten 15 of the new ones since April recorded. So this is podcast number 35 is where I'm going with this. So I've got 35 audio recordings for you to go and listen to. And they don't necessarily have to be in any order. If you feel that you want to listen to them in order, that's fine. If you haven't seen the blog before and you want to go to the blog, it's youdon'tneed10.com, where all 148 blog posts from the last 2 3/4, almost 3 years, are all posted and all available to read. So blog post number 20 was called Trulim, and it's kind of a long one. So after some of the short ones we've had lately, this is a longer one. Last week, Monday, started with an email at 8:34 a.m. saying, now that you've had your Trulim for a few days, we'd like to check in with you and see how it's going and encourage you to schedule a consultation. I then referenced to the previous email from Unlimited Tomorrow and saw that your arm is on its way email had just been sent on January 13th. So it wasn't too concerning that we didn't have the arm yet. Last Monday was a holiday for most, and the kids were all home from school, so I went on about the day working remotely from home. By 9:17 a.m., Monday, January 17th, 2022, the arm was delivered. My child's arm had come in the mail. I didn't make a huge deal about it at that moment because we had extra kids at the house since there wasn't school, and I wanted Paisley to have a private box opening. I did get the consult scheduled for Wednesday. The January 13th email had cautioned us not to calibrate anything or do much with it until we had a consult. At 6:30 p.m., Russell and I snuck a peek in the box. At 6:40 p.m., the house was quiet, kids were occupied, the teenager was at Campus Life, Jet was at hockey practice, and Maverick was driving cars. I let Paisley open the box, and the smile on her face was beautiful. No words needed except cool. Lots of smiles. She examined it, checked it out, and boxed it back up. Tuesday came and went, nothing to report. Wednesday, January 19th, 2022 at 2 p.m. I was busy working away at my Elkhorn financial desk, looked at the clock and freaked out. Supposed to be on Google Meet. How on earth do you forget your child's new arm appointment? It was a crazy week all around, inside out and backwards, but still, I logged on immediately with Anthony as I was pulling out of the parking garage, and he was great. We chatted a couple minutes, and I was already at the school to retrieve my very irritated young lady. She'd been in the office for almost 20 minutes waiting. Anthony said he had plenty of time that afternoon, so we hung up and logged back in about 5 minutes later when we arrived at home. Luckily, everything is pretty close in our town. 2:15 p.m. we started the meeting. We told him the arm was charged up, but little else had been done. Just waiting for this appointment so as not to mess anything up. He had her put it on. He checked it out, and we shared screen. He then walked us through how to let him log into the arm. He had her do some muscle movements, and we watched sensors light up with intensity. She went through several positions of movement, holding still and flexing muscles to see what worked best. Looking for a specific movement that she could easily do with a muscle that could activate or wake up the arm, and then be the movement that changed its mode or position. Hold that movement for 1.5 seconds, and then it would change mode, and the color on the top would change. She went with a knock movement from her wrist. We've gone back and forth on this one, and since I can't see in there and I'm not following her explanations and she's not trying to explain it to me, I can't tell if it's knocking with the tiny fist forward or down for the movement. But regardless, it works, and we made a huge step in getting it set up. After that, we checked several other things, and Anthony realized he had some computer work to do on his end, so we would meet back up in the morning. That meeting had been hard to sit still, hard to be patient with the movements and setup. Paisley was hard. Anthony stayed logged into the arm to do his work after we ended the meeting. The light on the arm was pink, which means someone else is logged in and working on it. I left it plugged in on the kitchen counter, and it stayed pink. Not sure how long he was on it and what all he needed to do to it. We tried to ignore it, but she wanted to play with it. She kept asking me about it, and I thought maybe he was uploading or something or downloading. I had no clue. A couple hours later, it was still pink. I tried holding down for 10 seconds, thinking maybe I could reset it, but nothing happened, so we left it alone. She had brought her tablet to school that day, which she is not supposed to do. And apparently, while she was out of the room, an alarm had gone off. So the teacher found it in her bag, turned off the alarm, and held onto the tablet, and was planning to speak to her about it before she gave it back. Well, needless to say, with her leaving early, it didn't happen, and it was left there without her knowing. Wednesday evening turned into an episode since she couldn't play with her arm, and the meeting had been exhausting and much more work was needed, and she did not love having to work with him and have me sit along or be of assistance during the meeting. She was frustrated, to say the least. She couldn't find her tablet, and I told her I'd last seen it in her room. She was pretty sure she'd had it in the car that morning. I couldn't remember. I remember her messing with a shoelace. She's the first one dropped off in the morning, so she wouldn't have had long with it in the car. I didn't have a clue. None of my suggestions were correct. It couldn't be at school. Well, needless to say, this became the scapegoat for the emotional roller coaster of the day and new arm process. Episode was bad. Memorable bad. Similar to birthday weekend 2019 meltdown, if that triggers a reference to some of you that know of that episode. Nothing brings out the emotions, anger, frustration, and feelings like getting a new arm. It's not normal. And as exciting as it can be, it's scary and hard work and emotional and hard to process, which comes out in emotional episodes. Rudeness, usually, just to me, and meltdown mode. The meltdown had nothing to do with the tablet. It just happened to be something tangible to scream about. If the tablet had been at home, it would have been something else that was wrong in the world. Since she was in such a state, I hid the arm in one of Russell's drawers in our room, not sure what she may do. Needless to say, when he got up to get dressed for work Thursday morning at 5 a.m., he had quite the surprise. An arm with a bright pink light. Thursday, January 20th, 2022. Paisley was supposed to get up and go to school, and I'd pick her up a little before 10 a.m. before our next meeting. She didn't want to. I had zero negotiations or battle left in me. I took the boys to school, went to work, gave the teenager a ride, told sister to shower, look presentable, and eat a good breakfast. I arrived home at 9:50 a.m., already logged on and in the middle of making a map for the land company on my laptop. Desktop in the home office doesn't have audio, and I wanted my phone to take pictures and video, and also figured a computer would be better for training and seeing. So I picked up a Chromebook we have and logged into the meeting. Told Anthony we hadn't done much since we last met. It was still stuck in pink. He felt horrible and told us the reset takes closer to 30 seconds of holding the button down. So we did that, and it woke up. Cute little wake up sequence, and I caught it on video as Paige adorably said, "Good morning." We proceeded with the meeting. Had an upload to do from the calibration work that had been done and some settings to mess with. For the next 45 to 50 minutes, things were brutal. She was impossible to stay on task, and it was quite boring, painful even. It wasn't working. We tried several times, added a Bluetooth extender. Nothing seemed to be working. And finally, he asked me what kind of device we were logged onto the testing website with. And I told him a Chromebook. Oh, he says that may be the problem. So sorry, I should have asked you sooner. Ugh, I figured that since the day before he was adamant we use Google for the webpage, that a Chromebook was safe since they are affiliated. I then conceded to using my phone, so no more pictures or video. But anyways, the rest of the meeting went smoothly. And by the end, she was able to do the muscle move and activate it, as well as change modes. The sensory setting is set very low. She has good sensory response. There appear to be only about 4 main sensors catching her movements. There are very many, though. She didn't want the added grip strength turned on. She feels that works well for her so far. She loves the finger pads. At the very end of the meeting, she was using it all, and all of our faces were lit up. The smiles on Paisley's face and even on Anthony's were memorable. He was so proud to have been able to create this for my baby, and my heart overflowed. We disconnected and spoke of an OT meeting next week. He'd send another link. At the end of the video, she was cheating a bit and pushing the button with her left hand to change the mode, which I will envision her doing some. It's just her personality. After we disconnected, I made her go through the modes with no button pushing and recorded the first ever muscle movements through the sequence. A magical video that has been seen by many already. Unlimited Tomorrow, the company that makes Trulim, even shared it on their Instagram story. Brought tears to many and many tears to me. She's been excited about this and talking about it at school and with her teacher. And Thursday morning, her teacher reached out that if Paisley was fine with it, to share pictures or videos with her class, she could. So I sent the magical video to her teacher after I dropped her at school Thursday morning. Not sure how this went, but I think well. I think the class has seen it, and I haven't heard anything about it, positive or negative. Thursday evening was full of dance practice and a hockey game and gearing up for Grandma and Grandpa Taylor to leave for the rest of the winter, except for a couple weeks to the coast. So they popped in quick late in the evening, and Sister did her thing, showed them what she could already do with the new Trulim. Grandpa and Grandma Wyman haven't been feeling the best, so they haven't wanted to spread germs and have stayed home, but watched the video that brought tears to many. We are blessed with good, supportive parents. They all helped pay for this. Friday, no major developments. She played with it some. Saturday, we left for the weekend. Jet had some hockey games in Bismarck, Mandan. We arrived home late Sunday evening. Monday, January 24th, 2022. Our first OT appointment with Natalia. Anthony had some things he wanted to discuss, as well as see how things had worked. As the creator, he's got some great thoughts, and Josh joined the call as well. Great meeting. I chose 2 p.m. again, which I vowed to never do again. Twice now I've picked up a busy girl from school and tried to make her sit and listen to people asking her questions she barely knows. These are personal things she struggled to talk about her whole life. The scenario equals sass and attitude and dismissing of mom. Natalia was giving her ideas of things to practice doing with her new Trulim, such as tie her shoes, and the response was, hold on, I already know how to tie my shoes. And then proceeded to show them, which is a great sight, and they enjoyed watching her cold court and found her funny, even if she was being a brat. I interrupted at one point and told them she is really excited about this, I promise. They seemed unfazed by her and seemed pleased. She's got a to-do list, but the meeting went well. As we see issues arise in the next few weeks, we can schedule as many follow-ups as we want, but for now, she's graduated and on her own. Another evening of rudeness to mom, and I was thankful she had 2 hours of dance practice. When I picked her up from dance, she apologized for being mean to me. I accepted and told her I understand. This is a lot. There's a lot to this process, and it's going quick. Not a lot of time for adjustment, but I feel it's going well. I couldn't believe she had already been able to move the modes on the first try last Thursday. It appeared Anthony was impressed as well. As we approached home, she started talking about school girl drama again. Man, that really gets under my skin. I said that this combined with anything else we've discussed here would be great topics for her and her therapist. She immediately said yes and asked when she sees her again, and I said tomorrow, and she said, thank the good Lord. We see the therapist today. I think we can thank the good Lord for everything, all of this, inside out and backwards. A wonderful experience so far. This girl has been asking for fingers that move since she could speak. So I know that was a longer audio recording episode, and I thank you for listening.